Yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Happy mother flipping Sunday. Happy mother flipping Sunday. What's good, everybody? We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We're also back on Kick too. So if anybody wants to, no delay, everything's, I'm not gonna lie, a lot cleaner over there. It's up to you. You can hang out where you want to hang out. I'll post a link just in case y'all want to. Ah, man, nah. Jordan Weaver, $20. 0 DTs every day and gifts and memberships. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. But you guys know you don't have to do anything, man. Giveaways are out of my pocket. I don't want anything from you guys. I just appreciate you guys showing up. That's it. That's it. But what's good, everybody? Tony, Orlando, Kyle, Steadfast, Diggs, Trap Guy, what's good, man? Pascal, what's up, brother? Edwin, King Jones, Forbes, Frasco, what's good, man? Young Map, Xavier, Dennis, Forbes, Jassif, what's good, Ivan, Snipes, Jay, Baba, ISO. YouTube's a little clear. Okay, I gotta get that sorted out then. No, if you do 1080p on Kick, it's the same. Make sure you just change the quality. 1080p is nice. I think it's probably a little bit clearer than YouTube, honestly. Yeah. But, yeah, man, we're back. Let's get it. Terrell, what's up, man? Tony, Warren, Shells, how you doing tonight? Will the live be posted as a video? Yep, always. You can go back and rewatch 5 years worth if you wanted to. But yeah, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. Shout out to all the couples. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day yesterday. I was in the gym. That's about it. And kept it pushing, man. Tomorrow, just an FYI, stock market is closed. Okay? Tomorrow, the stock market is closed. Tomorrow, the stock market is closed. Futures are open until 12 p.m. tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see what's going on with this here. Try to get this fixed. Alright. Let's see if we can get that fixed real quick. There we go. Got that working. Alrighty. Let's get it. Alright, let me go big screen for everybody. We'll get that locked in. Make sure everything's working. And first things first, as always, let's get into this economic calendar, man. Let's get into it. Get that out of the way. Monday, February 16th. Market is closed for President's Day. Stock market, that is closed. But yeah, man, we're looking good. Tuesday, market will open as normal. We have a FOMC speaker here. Nothing really important outside of J-Pow. What's good, Kenny? Wednesday, very interesting day here. This is probably the star of the show this week. Whoa. The fuck is going on here? Wednesday, here we go. We have durable good orders. That's at 8:30. And then we have FOMC minutes. Whoops. Gosh darn, man. Clicking all kinds of stuff here. Where's the economic calendar? There we go. Wednesday, we have that durable good orders at 8:30. And then we have FOMC minutes, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is not regular FOMC. This is just a closed door statement release. Nothing anywhere near as important as a regular FOMC, but might be a nice little eval passer opportunity. Thursday, February 19th, we have our usual, which is jobless claims at 8:30. Outside of that, we have pending home sales at 10 a.m. on Thursday as well. Gosh darn it. Fucking keep clicking shit. Friday, February 20th. This is a big day. Very big day. Look at this lineup we got here. We got GDP at 8:30. We have PCE at 8:30. We have 9:45 PMI. And then we have 10 a.m. new home sales and consumer sentiment. So very big day here on Friday. Very data heavy, right? 2 points at 8:30, a point at 9:45, and then 2 points at 10 a.m. Outside of that, we're pretty chill, you know. So the biggest day this week is probably going to be Friday with these 4 major data points. GDP itself is a pretty big number we look forward to. PCE also. So I would say Friday's probably a good eval passer opportunity. I would say probably at 8:30 and then maybe even 10 a.m. with consumer sentiment and then new home sales. But yeah, man, that's what we got to look forward to this week in terms of economic data. Let's get into these charts here. Tonight, we even have a nice little opportunity here. I'll get into this chart here in a moment, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, put it that way. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. We'll get into these setups in a minute, but so far, so good. We're looking nice. We're looking nice. We're looking nice. We're looking nice. Alrighty, guys. Let's get it. NQ, monthly time frame. I mean, again, right? I talk about this pretty much every week, right? We're ultimately still bullish, right? We're you know, you can consider this bull pennant, bull flag, right? Grand scheme, overall structure still bullish. The only thing we have bearish going for us is we're below that previous month's low. So monthly time frame, we are still bullish. Weekly though, this is where the lines get blurred a little bit. We obviously have that all-time high failure, and then the previous week we had that big sell-off, which pretty much got picked up below that structure. Last week we closed with an inside bar. So that's a lot of opportunity for this week, right? This is one of my favorite setups to trade. Beautiful little inside bar here. A lot of value above that previous week's high or that previous week's low. So those are kind of our parameters here. And yeah, man, we're looking good. But at the end of the day, you know, we're trading down into some major levels here, right? We're trading down into some major demand levels, right? We got 23,200. We got that 24,400 area. You know, this could easily just be a little pullback, right? And we end up getting that massive rip. That is the thing. But it also is a thing, you know, we could be getting that pullback, right? There's no way to really tell yet because we're still within that range. Now, the daily chart, this is where, you know, the question mark comes into play, right? We have our range. Our range is set, right? We essentially rejected the top, came down, held the bottom, made a lower high here. So now this is what we're playing off of. The question is, right, is this lower high going to lead to continuation? Or are we going to make a higher low above that demand and come back and trade into that lower high, right? This is where things get very tricky. Very tricky. Right? Very tricky. So, what we need to be focused on is a few things here. Number one, obviously, that previous week's low. Number two, obviously, that major supply, right? If you look at that, that's about a 1,200 point range. So that's our original range here. And then we're sitting in between this major supply, which is that previous month's low and at 25,000. And then we have Friday's low, okay? These are our main 4 levels here, okay? What I'm watching is I'm watching for an early setup, which would be, hey, push back into 25,000, maybe break it, fail it. That's a nice short opportunity, okay? Now, if we just, you know, automatically sell off below Friday's low, we can get a move back into this demand, right? These are little short-term setups, okay? Now, if you want to talk about bigger picture, right, longs would need to see, obviously, demand hold, and then us get back above 25,000. That's an opportunity back into the supply up here at 25,500. But ultimately, for us to say, hey, we're confident in going higher, we have to get above 25,500, right? That was that big struggle point from last week's session, which provided multiple rejections and a big move lower on 2 occasions. So those are our real big parameters, right? 25,500 for upside, 24,250 for downside, and then we have these very clean levels here to trade off of, being 25,000 and 24,620. It's a clean chart. It is very clean chart. Just obviously, we're trading in kind of no man's land right now, right? There are opportunity up here, opportunity down here, opportunity up here, opportunity down here. But where we're currently trading is kind of, that no trade zone where we're just sitting in between that supply, sitting in between that demand, a bigger supply. So that's kind of the game plan there. It looks good though. It does look good. ES, pretty, similar chart here. This I would consider a little bit more bullish, right? We swept that previous month's low, and we're still holding it, right? So that I consider, fairly bullish. Weekly time frame, pulled back into demand, and we held. Now we have that inside bar from last week's session. The question is do we hold or fold? All right? We got that, beautiful failure of all-time highs. We all seen that off of 7,000, right? But what do? Rejected, pick back up, pick back up, pick back up. So the question mark is here, do we see a rinse and repeat, right? Are we just going to get bought back up, right? That's kind of our wonder right now is, do we get picked back up, right? That's our big question. So looking at this chart on the daily, yeah, it's a little tricky, right? We can all agree to that. But the hourly here is kind of a little bit cleaner, right? Major demand, 67.50. Obviously, major supply being all-time highs. What we can look forward here is watch that structure that caused that breakdown, right? This is a very clear structure here. If we can pop back into the 6,900, 6,930 area and get a nice failure, that's a short opportunity, right? If we just sell through these lows, that's a short opportunity. For longs, we need to see what we're seeing now, right? Held that major demand, make a higher low, and we reclaim 6,900 and that 6,950. Guess what? We're back at 7,000 in no time, right? So this is a chart that's going to make a big move. It's just a matter of when, right? Not if, just when. But looks good. Looks good. RTY, I mean, this is still bullish in my opinion, right? We've got this nice little bull flag here, right off of this massive trend line, still holding that previous structure. This is probably the cleanest bullish setup we have, if I'm being honest here. So if you want to trade RTY, which I think is a great idea, long as we're above, 2570 realistically, it's bullish, right? But tonight, what you would want to watch is that 2650, right? That 2650 is what you would want to watch here. If we can hold, we're probably going to trade a little bit higher, right? Outside of that, I really don't see much, because at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're trading inside of a range, right? Same thing we're doing here on NQ. Same thing we're doing here on ES. We're doing on RTY, right? We're ultimately in a range. YM, this is a chart I really do like. I really do like this. One, look at the significance of this uptrend, right? This is huge. So if we can get some, little involvement down here off of this, right? Whether it's a hold or whether it's a breakdown, this is where big moves come about. Big, ferocious moves, right? Daily, I mean, look at this. We just failed that previous all-time high, right? But we're still holding that uptrend. So this is kind of that teeter-totter moment here. Whether we make that higher low and reclaim, that's the A+ long setup, or we pop back into this structure and fail, that's the A+ short setup. So YM is a big watch of mine this week. Primarily just this 50,000 area, right? If we can push back into it and get that failure like I spoke about, that is a major short opportunity. But if we hold the this 49,200 low, right? And then we reclaim 50,000. This is going right back into all-time highs. So again, there's one level you primarily want to focus on here, and that is that 50,000, okay? Very, very simple. Is it in a range? Yeah, now it is, right? We seen a beautiful break out of the range, and then guess what it did? Right back into it. So yes, you're technically correct, right? We're back into this major range here. So this would be that area you don't really want to trade YM. Silver. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tricky chart. What I do like though is this 80 level. This is kind of like that 50,000 level on YM, right? If we push into 80, get that nice failure downtrend formed, that's your short opportunity. If we reclaim 80 and we hold, that's your long opportunity back into 86. That's about the only thing I got to say here. Gold. I mean, look at this chart. Held that macro demand, higher low, higher low. There's one level you need to focus on here, and this is why it was on my watch list. 5,100, okay? 5,100 is your level here. We have the demand hold, macro demand hold, higher low, higher low. If we can get above 5,100, this is going to be the generational long setup back into these highs on gold. Conversely, right? If we see something like this, a big break and then a failure, and we lose 49.30, that recent structure, this is going to turn into a generational short setup, right? So these type of levels like 5,100, where that chart's structure is very clean, this is where opportunity comes about, right? I'm not going to say the move's going to happen today or tomorrow, but I would give this a week at most, and you're going to see an insane move here. A week, no more than 2 weeks. You'll see another generational move here, something like we've seen in the past over here. It's coming. For sure. Alrighty. Individual names. Coin. This was my top swing watch last week, and it's coming into play, right? We had this major demand here, 116 to 140, and look what we did. Perfect pullback right into the demand, swept that previous week's low, got that daily double bottom, daily failure to go lower, right after earnings, right? Look at this hourly chart. Just beautiful. Had that low. We attempted to go lower. We reclaimed. We held. Now we're back into this structure here. This is the top watch this week in terms of individual names, right? I want to watch a pullback into this structure at 155. That's a long opportunity. The top watch is if we can get above 168, right? That's where the squeeze begins. Back into 193s, potentially even 200s. This is an A+ swing setup if we can get that build. This looks very, very good. Very, very good. Next, we have Amazon. This is huge, right? Look at this Amazon chart. Major all-time high failure. And where are we doing? We're pulling back right into this uptrend. This is the hold or fold for Amazon, right? We're either going to hold this uptrend and we're going to trade back higher, or this is going to be the start to something much, 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 much bigger. So, Amazon here, there's one level I really want to focus on, and that's 195. Bottom of the gap, structure. This is it, right? We have that big earnings drop, have that nice little bear H forming, and now we're down at this structure. This is the tell-all for Amazon, right? What we're watching for here is simply a nice break and hold below 195. That's our opportunity to get busy, okay? Looks amazing. Also, if Amazon does something like this, maybe a small break and then a reclaim, that could be a nice long opportunity, right? So again, like that 50,000 level, like 5,100 on gold, 195 on Amazon is that level where opportunity gets provided. AMD, like this chart a lot. We have that big failure of all-time highs, and now we're back into this demand. I really like last week's close. We attempted to fill that gap, and we failed, forming a lower high. Look at the hourly here. We have that failure and that break of structure, and we're now sitting at this big demand. This is where big moves comes about. This would be considered a drop base, right? So two things can come here. The drop base rally, or we can get that drop base drop. So I'm simply just watching for a break of the base. Above 210 on AMD, we go back in the highs here at 220. That's the long setup. Below 204, we're coming down to fill this gap here into 195, 190s. Okay, this is an A plus setup. Doesn't matter which way it goes. Once we get that confirmation, this is our A plus setup. All right. Microsoft, identical chart, right? We have that nice weakness, but again, like Amazon, look at this. Look at this Amazon chart. Look at this Microsoft chart. This is a legendary area, okay? This is the Cheeto holding the door. You know that meme? This is it, right? That Cheeto is either going to keep that door shut or guess what? See you later, right? This is that big demand also. Very high confluence area here on Microsoft. Look at this. This is huge, okay? This is the top watch until we get the move, right? What I'm watching here is obviously 392, right? That's that big demand. But I'm also watching 407.50, okay? Pay attention. It's a little tricky. What I want to see here, Microsoft, we're probably not going to get that straight breakdown, right? That's probably not going to happen. So what I want to watch here, I want to watch for three different things, really. Number one, pull back, break 392, trade below it, reclaim 392, hold above it. That's a long opportunity, okay? Or if we make a higher low above this previous low at 392 and then reclaim 407.50, that's a long opportunity, okay? Those are the two long scenarios on Microsoft. Now, the obvious setup is this. A clean break and hold below, short this motherfucker into the abyss, okay? Again, this is like the 50K level on YM, 5100 on gold, AMD 210. These are the levels where money is fucking made. Serious money is made, okay? So log in. Apple. Everybody called me crazy for shorting Apple last week. Look at it. Look at that. Beautiful. I gave you guys a short entry last week on Thursday at 272. Textbook setup. Support. Turn resistance. See you later, alligator. Even on Friday, gave you guys a beautiful setup on Apple. 260. Break. Retest. Failure. Retest, see you later. Now, I'm not watching anything really imminently here on Apple, right? I just want to see how it performs against the market. Big levels here, 252, that's the demand. 265, right? We're pretty extended. Apple just made essentially a 10% equity move, so it essentially reached a correction in 2 days. So, unsure what's going to happen next, but just keeping an eye on it for the overall market's sake. Meta. I like Meta for the same reason I like Amazon and Microsoft. Look at what we're approaching. I've missed a trade twice, by the way. I missed a swing here. I missed a swing here. This is where shit happens, okay? And if you look at the grand scheme, we kind of have a major head and shoulders here, right? So, something big could come from Meta, for sure, right? We came back up, filled that gap, got the rejection, back below that structure, got a lower high beneath that 700. We have another little baby gap to fill here. Something big could be here on Meta, right? What I want to watch on Meta is I want to watch 628.50 and I want to watch 651, okay? If we can get below 628.50, I like that for a move back into 600, okay? Pretty straightforward here. Now, if we do something like this, maybe pull back, hold, reclaim, and break 651, Meta's going back into 680s, okay? So if you guys noticed, a lot of open-ended setups this week, rightfully so, right? We looked at NQ, we're trading in a range, right? We're in a massive range. We looked at ES, we're in a massive range. We looked at RTY, we're in a massive range. We looked at YM, we're back in a massive range. So we have to be open-minded, right? The dips have been bought previously, right? We've all seen that. Dip, bought, dip, bought, dip, bought, dip, bought. So is this another case of the dip being bought? We don't know. So we have to plan accordingly. I can say this is one of the cleanest structured charts I've seen in a while, right? We have that major rejection. Just look at this chart structure. Major rejection, support, turn resistance, major structure, retest, lower, major structure, retest, lower, major demand hold, reclaim, higher low, back into that previous structure that we failed at, failure, 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 move lower. Now we're back below that structure here. This chart structure has been extremely clean, right? Extremely clean. You just had to be patient. But this looks very, very good, right? This is the boiling point here, whether we get, hey, that higher low or we get that lower high. This is where shit happens. Same thing applies to ES, right? This is where shit happens. We're either going to hold and start to trade back into those highs, or we're actually going to get that pullback. So, this is where we got to lock in. This is where shit happens, and we need to be there to catch it. But, yeah, man, that's what I'm watching there. Coin, I discussed the swing. MicroStrategy. This is the A+ swing setup, okay? Right here. 102, 100. Look at that level from back in 2021. A generational level here, okay? Generational. Last week, this is what we were looking for, remember? Hold that demand, higher low above it. And what do we have here? We got our confirmation. So come this week, long as we're above 121, 120, you best believe I'm going to be long MicroStrategy. Okay? So I'm going to look for an entry come Monday, or Tuesday, excuse me, right? This looks amazing. Okay? So just remember this. If we're above 120, 121 this week, bullish. Okay? If we get above 139, that's your opportunity to go long back into 150. Above 150, shit. We got room into 168.50 all the way back into these highs here at 190. Okay, so MicroStrategy and coin, top watch. Adobe, also keeping an eye on. Generational demand here, if it can hold. If it doesn't, that's fine as well. We got to demand a little bit lower. But I do think we can get an opportunity here. This does have earnings, so I'm kind of like iffy about it, but I'm keeping an eye on it, put it that way. We'll do a quick peek at crypto. Again, my mindset's the same. Bitcoin's below 72,000, 70,000. This is bearish. Bearish as fuck. We're in a downtrend, right? What do you see here? We have a high. Attempted to go higher, we failed. Lower high, break of structure. Lower high, break of structure. This is a classic downtrend, right? Classic. What do we do here? Support, turn resistance, move lower. Support, turn resistance. What likely happens here? A move lower, right? So, in my opinion, best case for you for Bitcoin is you get a dip buy at 50,000, right? Because now we're back into this range. Look at this range we were in, right? So, my say is keep cash ready. I think something big is coming in the market that no one is expecting, and it's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt, but it's only going to hurt for a little bit. And obviously, we'll be there to pick up the dip. And then a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we'll all be thankful. Ethereum, same thing, right? This chart is hurting bad, right? Big failure here. Big break of structure. This is the last hope, 1400. So, these crypto names are not looking good, right? I'm just being honest. They're not. Look at ADA, Cardano. Sitting at all-time lows, right? Doge, back into demand, right? They all have one thing in common. They're in demand, but, again, this is where things get spooky. This is where things get spooky. XRP's back at $1. This is where things get spooky. Historically, look at XRP. When you have that massive pump, what happens afterward? Systematic sell-off. Massive pump, systematic sell-off. Here we had our massive pump. Bitcoin, look at its cycles, right? What do you notice? Guys, pay attention. What does this look like? Okay? What does this look like? It is a spitting image of what's happening right now. Scenario number 1, massive pump, pullback, okay? Right here. Consolidation, consolidation, breakout, breakout, rejection, rejection, pullback, pullback, massive pump, swept the highs, failure, failure, lower high, continued pullback, right? Based for a little bit, and then we got our next run, right? But this period here was a matter of, it was a year, right? We've only pulled back so far for about 6 months or so, you know? And if you go look at Bitcoin's waves, they're usually anywhere between a year to 2 years from all-time highs, right? Generally, right? It's a year. We're only 6 months into this pullback, not even 6 months, right? So if you want to speak about facts, why wouldn't we see lower, right? Why wouldn't we see lower? Another prime example, right? We just spoke about this chart. Look at it, guys. I just want to show you guys clearly. Watch this, okay? We're going to do this area in pink. We're going to do... Let me switch this. We're going to do this, and we'll do it in red, okay? Next wave. Red. Red, okay? What did we just do here? Look at green. Structure, green. Structure, green. After we broke that structure, we proceeded to sell off another 40%, right? Before we seen any type of real reversal, right? This is where we're at now. Almost identical to what we've seen over here. The charts are literally identical almost. Identical. High, high, failure, failure, lower high, pull back, break a structure, and here we are now. You know, so in my opinion, I would say we go lower before any higher. That's just my opinion. 72,000 is that level that you should be worried about. But yeah, man, that's what I'm watching. That's why I'm watching it. Take the last few moments here. Side note, I think Tradeify announced crypto trading, right? I'm about to go get an account. I would love to trade Bitcoin, to be honest. How do you do it? I have to figure it out later. Yeah, I ain't worried about it. Anyway, anybody's got any questions? Now's your time to ask, whatever it may be. Whether it's trading related, business, personal, entrepreneurship, whatever it may be. Now's your time to ask it. These guys got the stage. Explain rationale on QQQ swing. It's high risk, right? That's very evident, but broke that structure, failed, got that nice lower high, swept that previous low, just got that lower high off of 617, closed below that previous month's low. That was my cue to go short. So long as we're below that previous month's low, I'm holding short. That simple. If we get that daily closure above it, I'll probably stop out and then watch that 617. But risk reward here is great, right? I mean, we're risking what, $6 for a potential $20 move? Risk reward's great. Family's good, man. Appreciate you for asking. How much do you need to get a payout on Apex? Depends on the account. But a 50K account, you need what, 3,500? Something like that. 2,500? 2,600. Yeah, 2,600. Live trading tomorrow. Market's closed, man. Market's closed. Market is closed. What do I know about possible regulations? Nothing. No one does. If they did, they would talk about it. California. Are you able to focus on both options and future roles? Yeah. Alrighty. Let's get into this giveaway then, and then we'll call it a night. Keyword is FST. Let's get it. Good luck, everybody. Keyword is FST. Good luck, everybody. Bro, kick is 1,000 times faster. 1,000 times faster. By the time I even finish saying the T in FST, people already heard it and typed. That's crazy. That is crazy. Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Alrighty. 5, 4, 3, 2, and Juan. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Yeah, that shit's all messed up. That shit is all messed up. I gotta fix my streaming stuff. Anyway, good luck, everybody. Benjamin Coulanges. Something like that. Congratulations. You got until the timer says a minute. Once it hits a minute, your time is up, and we will re-roll it. Where you at, my boy? So glad I got on Kick. I've been on Kick for like 2 years. Probably longer than that. Almost 3 years. I just, something was messed up. And I just got to fix. Support just messaged me over the weekend. Yeah, I love Kick though. It's much better. Much better. The delay on YouTube is like 30-35 seconds. On Kick, it's literally like a second, if that. Sometimes less. So even live trading. Like I can never live trade on YouTube. I can never live trade on YouTube. Do I demute? Nope. Just say you're here. Which you typed in the chat. You're good. Awesome. Good stuff. Be sure to read the pin message so you can get your prize and we'll be good to go. Alrighty, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night. I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. I will not see you guys tomorrow for live trading. The market is closed, but I will see you guys on Tuesday. Regular schedule. And, yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Get some good rest tomorrow, and we'll be back at it on Tuesday. All right? Peace, everybody.